Hi everybody, and good morning. Welcome to my channel. Let's get motivated and clean and chat, or let's see how far we can get. I love to start every day by making my bed in the morning. I think the best part of waking up is making your bed in the morning and that first cup of coffee. But I just think it's that way that you can make your bedroom that one area where it just always looks and represents calm and peace. And I like that feeling. And here I have a laundry sorter, but sometimes some folks are a little colorblind and can't quite get the idea of the divider. So just separating out the laundry and then hauling it off to the laundry room. And there's the pup. She's checking out and making sure I'm staying on task. And then I just decided, since we did a little rearranging in our bedroom a couple of days prior, so we did a deep clean of dusting and vacuuming. I'm just going over everything that, the glass, the lamps, the picture frames, and just kind of knocking the dust off. And thought, oh, yep, it's time to put a nice little fresh good smelly stuff in my oil diffuser and run that while I clean and get the room just tidy and smelling really good. So off to the laundry room I go, just like a little choo-choo train hauling it through. And oops, that's the dress I wore yesterday, and yep, I spilled on it, so have to use some stain remover. And now I'm trying to tackle the table, because sometimes it just gets to be a major catch-all, and finishing off some mail from yesterday that I need to get out today, and just get the table in order and cleaned up. And Mondays, I just don't do anything deep cleaning, just trying to get the week started and just do a basic pickup and do laundry and just start the week out that way. Here I'm folding my rag, and I'm showing you that I usually put the rag around the bottle and attach it with a big thick rubber band, and that way I don't have to go hunting down a rag when I'm ready to use that particular bottle. So for some reason, the mirrors in the house seem to always accumulate, those dust bunnies that just fly around, especially when you're using your fans, and the air conditioning at our house has been just off and on, and I've had doors and windows open. So today I decided, yep, I'm going to work on the glass. And I like to use makeup Q-tips that I put solution on, that I'm using to clean the mirrors to get into the corners, because sometimes the dust just seems to settle, and that's the easiest way I find to clean the dust from there. And of course, the front um, screen door always gets washed, like several times a day, especially if my granddaughter's over visiting, because you can always see lovely little precious lips and fingerprints just all over everywhere. And someday I know I'll be looking for those fingerprints and wishing that I could find a set there. The door needed a little TLC. We had quite a bit of wind the last few days, and so it was a little dusty. And now I'm going to move on to the kitchen. Um, I had quite a big load of dishes that I ran during the night, and a lot of it was items like Tupperware and plastics and stuff like that. So usually when I have a bigger load like that, I like to not run the heat. That way it doesn't tend to warp the plastic containers. So I just make sure that I dry everything off really, really good before I put it away. Because sometimes, especially when you live in the South, mold does like to be your best friend, and I don't want anything to do with mold. So I pretty much just try to wipe everything down as best as I can. And just with, Easter and birthdays and extra meals and, family over, I just had more dishes, uh, and I was running the dishwasher more frequently than usual. So my very last load before I went to bed was pretty full. And it's always a good feeling to clean your sink. I don't know why that is, but it just, I think it makes everything look so finished and polished when your sink is all nice and clean. And I like to wipe it all down and get it good and shiny. And I don't know, for some reason, it just gives me that sense that, okay, things are starting to look really good. Um, and I just stopped and had a little bit of breakfast and sat out on the porch. And of course, had to get that last swallow of coffee in. And I'm just finishing up and checking out, throwing out some food from the refrigerator that I know we're not going to be utilizing. I like to do that on Monday because Monday night is the night we put the garbage out. So I do clean the refrigerator out on Monday. And it doesn't seem like I had too much of a job to do with that because uh, we went through quite a bit of food, and everything else I had put up or got into the freezer. So um, I just think it's kind of goes hand in hand with getting your refrigerator ready if you have to grocery shop that week, and pick that one day that you can just clean out your fridge and get rid of food that you are no longer going to be using. I bought a new spray from, I got it at Target, but it's the scent, I think it's lime and sea salt or something like that. Um, I'll link it below, but it just smells so, so good, and it just makes everything just smell super fresh. Now I'm cleaning out the microwave because sometimes that gets a little neglected, and you know, I guess being vertically challenged there, I'm a little short. Sometimes it's hard to get into the very back part of that microwave, but being short, I always have a ton of stools around the house so I can just step up and get the job done. I'm using the Wyman wipes for the stainless steel. Oh, checking some messages that I needed to answer there. But I was down to my last one. I love those wipes. They do such a great job on your stainless steel. And then I just go over it with a buffing cloth. I just purchased a new bottle of this Glamorous Wash High Maintenance. I use this for sheets, towels, just fine, PJs. It just smells wonderful and it lasts for a long time. And then I just transferred my clothes into the dryer, and this is a dress that I wore for church on Sunday. It's one I got on Amazon. It's a t-shirt dress. It's so comfortable and nice, but I did spill on it, and that's a story I'll tell you about. But it washed up beautifully. And like I said, I put a new jug in there of this. Oh, and there's just a teeny bit left, so I may just fill. Oh, that was just a little water. Put that in there. And getting my whites going. It just smells so good. I'm just going to let it sit here with the lid off and continue on in the other room with some cleaning. Okay, now it's time to start these floors. Ugh, takes me a long time. I do separate the back of the house from the front. So today it's the kitchen, living room area, and hallway. And then after I clean my bathroom, then I will clean that floor. But first I start with just a quick sweep with my cordless vac. And that's about the quickest and easiest to pick up. the overlying dust. So that's what I'm going to do. I see streaks on my mirror that I just cleaned and it drives me crazy. So I'm going to fix that too. So I'm off and running and going to go tackle that mirror and get rid of those streaks. And, you know, that just happens sometimes. The sun hits it a certain way and, oh, that just drives me just buggy. I know. I just cleaned it and there's still streaks. So now I'm just using my cordless vac, and if you don't have a cordless vac, I would recommend one. They are great, especially if you have wood floors. I have a really thick rug in the living room, one of the big throw rugs, and I can do a quick vacuum over it, but it's so thick that the cordless vac doesn't work so great on it because it's hard to roll. So I just get the big vacuum out for that. But for everyday use, it's great. And you know, if I take the vac and go in one direction on that rug, it's perfect. But I love it for my wood floors, and I use it every day, sometimes 2 times a day. It's great on, you know, just, oh my gosh, when you got animals and little children running around, you're really, you know, you young moms know what it's like to clean those floors. And back in my day, it was just always a broom because nobody wanted to haul out those big old heavy duty vacuums. Oh my gosh, Kirby's, and they just weighed 6,000 pounds. But these cordless vacs, they're just, oh man, it's like the greatest thing since butter. But I love it, and usually I can get through the whole entire house just on, you know, a good charge, and, you know, not get interrupted by having to stop with it. But I even take it out on my screened-in porch and do the vacuums out there. I don't do the concrete with it, but I do the any of the rugs that I have out there because it works great. And then the concrete, I just kind of sweep away the debris. And of course, that has to be done a couple of times, I think, every day, just depending on which way the wind is blowing. Because I just don't like all that stuff to get tracked onto your shoes. And, you know, then it just brings it in. But so I just spend a little bit of time just sweeping. And it just makes the porch area just so much nicer and cozier. So I just continue on doing that, and it was a nice day out, so I never mind being out there doing a little pick up and clean up. That always seems to be um, worth it later when I go and sit out there. Hello, everybody. Well, yes, it's night. It is 9:30 and I have just jumped out of the shower, and my cleaning video, let's just say, ended because I didn't get everything that I wanted to get done, but that's just life. So I'm not going to fret over it, not going to worry about it because tomorrow's another day. Sorry guys, forgot the glasses. So today just ended up getting interrupted, and it's just like, well, you just got to kind of go with the flow. I got everything pretty much done up to the point of all my floors were swept and, you know, vacuumed and ready for me to mop. And then my mom needed me to go out and, oops, she requested a few things for me to pick up at the store for her, and I thought, well, that's okay because I have to do some banking anyways, and I needed gas in the car, and so I thought, well, this is a good time to stop. Now, mind you, I'm still, after riding my bike this morning outside and then getting right into cleaning, and oh, don't mind the redness, that's just from the prednisone that I'm taking. It makes my skin get really, really red because even though I've been out walking and riding bike and stuff, I use SPF 50 and
This is just what happens. But so I thought this is a good time for me to just run out. Just gonna run in and out of the stores. I just freshened up my face a little bit, redid my hair, put my hat on, and off I went. And then I had a delay at the bank, and I was just kind of sitting there for like, I don't know, over 20 minutes in a drive-through line that there was only 2 cars in front of me, and the other line only had 2 cars. I'm like, what is going on? So I thought, oh, I'll just go in. And then I just stood in line in there for another 15, and I thought, just for a deposit? Really? That was a long time. But irregardless, I always think like this. Maybe it just prevented me from getting stuck in traffic or having an accident or something. I mean, you never know. So anyways, I went about my business. I went and, ran and got gas for the car and stopped into Sam's real quick and got the things that my mom had wanted, picked up a few other things. And then my granddaughter had invited me to go have a picnic out at the park today with them, and I said I better not because I'm in the midst of cleaning and doing loads and loads of laundry because my laundry got so backlogged last week. And, today is, sheet day and all that. So I have extra washing, and I thought I better not. I better just get this done. But how about after your nap if I come pick you up and you come over? I'll walk over because they just live a few blocks away, and I will pick you up, and we'll go for a ride in the wagon and come over to my house. Okay, that's great. So, boom, 2:30. My daughter-in-law calls and said she's up, so she was ready, and I was still running errands, so I thought, well, I'll just pick her up on my way home. So I picked her up, and she came over, and it was warm out today. It was, I think, close to 80, so we put her little swimsuit on, and I put the sprinklers on, with the hose, and by the time I get her dressed and drag out the sprinklers and get everything hooked up, then of course she's playing and having a good time, and I happened to go in the house to get a towel or something, and then I see the lawn people pulling up like they're coming to cut the grass. And I'm like, are you kidding? I just dragged all this hose and the backyard's wet, and, she's playing. Well, you just cut the grass on Saturday because I have it cut every week, but I'm like, I don't need it cut today. Well, it's going to rain the rest of the week, and so I'm just trying to get it in. Okay, so then I had to haul all that stuff back out to the side, wheel the hose in, but it's okay. She had fun. She got enough playing time, and she loves to play with, the sprinklers and run through them, and then just the sprinkler hose, that has all the different settings on it, and she just has a blast and fills her little pails. And I usually put up a big blow up little pool for her, but last year I think the adults got in it and kind of punctured some holes, so we're going to have to get another one because that's a good size for her. But anyways, so that occurred, and after I had spent the morning cleaning my porch and sweeping and vacuuming it, and then the grass is cut, and then they come and blow all the trimmings away, and that stuff just gets everywhere again all over the porch. So the dog was dragging her food out. She was acting kind of weird and carrying like 5 or 6 nuggets in her mouth and just spewing them out on the floor and eating half of them, and and then everybody walks by and steps on them, and I was like, did I clean the house today? Because it doesn't look like it. And even though my kid's gone, grown, married, I don't have a little kid that I have to chase after and pick up after, except when my granddaughter comes over. And we do play and have a great time, and by the time she's here, and then the dog loves her and wants to go grab all of her toys, her dog toys, and play with her, and there's just stuff everywhere. So anyways, we had a nice visit. My son is working out of state, so my daughter-in-law came over, we had dinner, and then we just sat out on the porch and chatted away and just had a nice evening. And so by the time I came in, finished cleaning up and then re-vacuuming real quick because I am going to mop my floors tomorrow, first thing. I just had to finish some laundry. I needed to get stuff out of the dryer, hang it up. I needed to put another load in. And lo and behold, I mean, it's not too nice, but I was, raising my arms and hanging up laundry, and I was like, oh, somebody needs to get in the shower because it's been a hot, long day. So that shower felt super good. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not going to finish my cleaning video, but I don't know if any of you are interested in that. It's just a little bit of, do what you have to do to motivate yourself to get around, get things picked up and cleaned up, and just a time to chat. But anyway, so I just kind of am going to end my video here because it's late and I am tired. And I'm not even going to dry my hair. I think I'm going to deal with it tomorrow. I'm just going to comb it out and let it air dry. It just kind of needs that kind of break. And I'll just spray it tomorrow and then use my big dryer, my round brush dryer, which I still love. But I thought what I would do is kind of do a little video on my organizing my refrigerator, because during the month of March, when I was pretty sick and out of it, our refrigerator went on the blinkety blink. Yeah. And it just wasn't worth having it fixed. And it had a slow water leak in it, and this would have been the second time that it had been repaired, because when we moved, there was an issue with it, so the company paid for it, and then it started doing it the same thing again, and my husband said, nah, let's just get a new refrigerator. Wasn't our preference anyway, because when we moved our refrigerator from our house in Illinois to Tennessee, and we kind of used it in the garage because they had this refrigerator. It was newer, but it was, one of those side-by-sides, which I do not prefer. I do not. I do way too much cooking and way too much, produce packing that I always have. And it's just, you're always moving stuff there. I didn't prefer it. So it went bad. And of course, in the midst of me going back and forth to the doctors 3 or 4 times, and I was on, all that medicine and stuff, we had to go out and get a refrigerator. Pretty much knew what we wanted, and I was just like telling my husband, okay, this is going to be a real short trip for you, because I am absolutely in no mood to be looking for a refrigerator, and I'm going to go in, yep, know what we want, let's look at them and get them done, and get it done. And so I felt miserable that day, and we pretty much knew what we wanted, and so we went to a couple of different places, looked at what was available, and they have some really fancy schmancy refrigerators out there that are really at a fancy schmancy price. And I'm like, wow, they're Wi-Fi capable, which ours is. I'm like, what am I going to do with that? And, there's just all kinds of whatever. So we ordered a refrigerator. And I was real specific about, okay, this, and this. But my mind was not really paying attention. I was sitting down while we were ordering. My husband was, doing it all. And I was just sort of listening. But I was like in a daze because I was on that cough medicine. And it just puts you in that crazy state of, yeah, whatever. And I knew I wanted a refrigerator that did not show fingerprints. I wanted that finish, and most of those are magnetic. So, and, we wanted the French doors and the freezer on the bottom. And so there were a couple of new options that we had looked at, and we decided, okay, blah, blah, blah. So we get the refrigerator, and it's an LG. LG? Yeah, an LG, and the refrigerator comes, they deliver it and do the setup and everything, and I was looking at it, and they took the other refrigerator out and removed it. And I was looking at the new refrigerator, and I'm like, why does that not look as big as the other one? No, it's got to be bigger. I know it is. So as they pushed it in, I open the doors and I look at it, and of course it's all bright and white and, nothing's in it. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine. So then they leave, hook it up, say give it at least 4 hours to get nice and cool inside before you start putting your food in there and all that. Told us what to do about the water line, for the water and the ice and run it through, blah, blah, blah. So by the time I took what we had put in coolers into the refrigerator later on in the afternoon, I'm like, this refrigerator is full. It's full. And I don't have everything in it. So I was like, what? So anyways, I just thought, no, I just have to rearrange. So I do use compartment type things in the refrigerator, like bins and all that. And I was just like, okay, well, I know it's different, and I need to spend some time on it. So I didn't feel good. So I just got everything in it and just kind of, let it go. And so I keep looking at the refrigerator, and I was like, wow, I just have so much more space in between the counter and the sidewall. And I'm looking at it, and then whatever. And then I progressed to still get worse in my sickness, not feeling good. So I'm really kind of ignoring the refrigerator. And after about 3 or 4 days, and I know it was after my husband left. Yeah, because he was home then, and that's when I was really sick. And then he had to go back to work, and my mom was in the kitchen, and she said something like, well, this refrigerator seems kind of small. And okay, now I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm like, I need to pay attention to this. Okay, what did we order? And my goddaughter had called me, and they were also in the process of buying a new refrigerator. And so she's telling me, oh, well, we got this refrigerator at blah, 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 and it's this cubic feet, and we spent this much money. And I was like, what? Well, my refrigerator was way more than that. What's the deal? And we kind of bought the same thing. I think the difference was, I think she bought the refrigerator that has the deli drawer that you can pull out from, from the front. And I didn't want that. I just wanted the slide out component to it. And like, wow, what? So I pull the paperwork, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this is not a 30 cubic foot. And that's what I had assumed we bought. This is a 27 point something. I'm like, it's the same size as the side by side. And I was like, no. Because that was one thing I was complaining. There's not enough room in here. We've always had a 30 cubic foot. Oh, you're kidding. Well, anyway. Then in the freezer compartment, the one drawer that slides out, because like there's the big drawer that you pull. Then there's 2 separate drawers at the bottom. And then there's a slide out drawer. And that one was building up a little bit of frost inside. So I read the book and looked at the settings, and I just called the store because I just said, can I have somebody help me? And this was at Best Buy, because from reading it tells me I should be at 1, but I'm at a negative, whatever the factory setting is. I'm at a 0. And he said, yeah, you can leave it there. I said, well, it's getting a little frosty. Oh, okay. Well, then he said, you might want to take it to a 1 and just see. And if it doesn't seem like it's frozen, then take it down to a -1 or whatever. So I did that, and I said something like, okay, well, I read it. That's what the book said. So I'll just go ahead and try that. And I said, but, I got to tell you, I know there's nothing I can do about it now, but when I ordered this, I swear that we ordered a 30 cubic diameter refrigerator, but the paperwork says it's like 27.8 or something. I said, can you just look that up? Because I know those were, we had like 2 or 3 specifics, and that was one of them. And I said, oh, well, it's not going to do me any good now. And the lady goes, well, no, it will. You're still within this, I guess it's a 30-day time period. And I said, well, what is that? And I said, well, wait a minute. I said, and another thing is someone just bought a refrigerator that's larger than mine. And I literally spent quite a bit more, hundreds of dollars more for this one. And this isn't even a 30. And so she said, well, we do have a sale going on. And the 30 cubic is cheaper than what you have right now. And I'm like, what? Well, I just bought this 10 days ago. Why didn't you tell me that was sale was going to go on? She said, well, they're not always posted, but you're still within that time period that we can either reimburse you the money for what the refrigerator's on sale now, or we can exchange it. And I said, oh, you can exchange it because I want the 30, and the 30 cubic foot refrigerator was cheaper than the smaller one I bought. So I said, oh yes, I'll take. I didn't care that I had to unload that whole entire refrigerator. Did not care. I just thought, I'm going to do it. So here comes these guys, because I had to take our front door screen off because it wouldn't fit through. And here comes these guys, and then I have this big hallway chandelier that hangs down, and they were like, ma'am, what's wrong with the refrigerator? I said, nothing, but it's too small. It wasn't the size that I thought we had ordered, and they said I could exchange it for a bigger size. Now, get this, guys. They brought it in, they rehooked it, they took the other one, and I still got money back because that's how good the sale was. And they just said no, we don't have these sales posted, so we don't know. So I'm like, okay, yay for Best Buy, because had I not have made that phone call just to talk to somebody to find out and double check on the settings in the freezer, I just would have let time go by, and I would have just said, well, I guess I'm stuck with this size. But what a difference. Huge difference. So that's my story, and I thought I'd share it with you because I'm going to do a video on how I organize my refrigerator and some of the pieces that I use that just make it really easy to access and get things, and keeps food, I think, fresher. So I'm going to work on that video, and I hope you enjoyed my kind of hodgepodging little cleaning and chit-chatting, and just sharing a little bit with you. But I'm going to go take care of the hair and just relax a little bit before I go to bed. I think I'm going to make myself a nice hot cup of chamomile tea with a little bit of honey, help with the allergies, and call it a night. So until next time, be kind, be humble, age gracefully, and look for my update for my weigh-in. Bye.